We wanted to make today's video about some Asian battle from 1,000 years ago, but the world had other plans, and something quite interesting and unique happened. The attempted assassination of Donald Trump, candidate for the presidency of the United States and former president of the United States. Trump was hit in his ear, but survived the shooting and provided us with one of the greatest images of the last few years. Trump is one of the few who gets shot and receives endless aura from it, and along the way shows more vigilance than Joe Biden.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was in the foothills of the Himalayas with Xi Jinping.
Well, maybe not so unique, because during the history of the USA, there have been about 46 presidents. About 4 of them were killed by assassination, and about 2 more survived a shooting attempt. In total, a considerable amount. You can also add 2 assassination attempts on presidential candidates, but the case of Donald Trump may be much more unique than the past cases, because for the first time in its history, the United States is on the brink of crisis, when it serves as the dictate of the world agenda. At the time of the Civil War, it was a bunch of rednecks and wannabe British. But today, it is in a completely different place. And the obvious question is it an assassination attempt by a mentally ill person, or is it something deeper? Is there another body behind this attack? We will try to find an answer together. So first of all, who is Thomas Matthew Crooks? Well, all we really know is that he lives in Pennsylvania and that he is a 20-year-old kitchen worker. From first look, it seems like it's just a mentally ill person. But if you think about it, he is the perfect man for the job.
Would you like that, Chris?
Yes, sir.
Good. We couldn't be happier.
When you think about a hitman, you always think about 47. Why is he the best? Because he's like a ghost, a shadow, a number. You don't really know anything about him. He gets the job done and disappears. This is what made Thomas the man for the job. He was a nobody. And I have some conspiracy about who I think took him for the job. It was Russia, and think about Russia is in the middle of a war with Ukraine. It only happened when Biden became president. While Trump was in office, there were no wars, and he controlled the world's problems in a good manner.
No, I sent him a picture of his house. He said, but
where
why?
he was at the time.
He said, but why do you send me a picture of my house? I said, you'll have to figure that one out.
Until some black people started raising their hand up in the air or more. It was a lack of air that started this all. So if Trump replaces Biden, Russia may have to stop the war and be looked at as USA's bitch.
You can hang up that computer call, come over here and kiss me on my hot mouth. I'm feeling romantic.
And we all know that Putin will destroy the planet before he makes himself look like a bitch. And also, they don't have money to hire someone good, so they bought the wise version of Lee Harvey Oswald. When you think about almost everyone has a motive. Russia, China, and the FBI. Or maybe if we think about this deeper, they all worked together. All of them have propaganda against Trump, and all of them like Biden as a puppet show. So maybe they all work together. Think of this like this. Russia hires someone cheap that cannot be traced to anyone. China is making a bot farm to tell the media it's all a fake, and Trump did it himself. The FBI doesn't tell the Secret Service and Intel that this may happen, and they are the ones who dose the investigation so they can make everything disappear. But this is just my little conspiracy. Well, the main claim of Trump's opponents is that this is a fib. Well, it's not something far-fetched. It's a guy like Trump. The fact that the shooting was carried out from a relatively close distance without any real interference by a school shooter who flourished late should have ended with Trump being shot in the head. But he missed, and it didn't only he missed, but delivered a Klay Thompson performance. Trump survived the incident, and in return, won a wave of sympathy on social networks, and along the way, illustrates the differences between him and Sleepy Joe. One of the funnier claims is that Joe Biden decided he was fed up with Trump and put a contract on him, but we're rejecting it outright since we're not sure Joe Biden remembers what day it is. But in my opinion, this is about something else. America has been on the brink of crisis for some time now, no matter what the issue is, and there will be 2 camps that will take sides and hate the other camp. Even if the topic in question is watermelon or pineapple, there will be people who will go out to demonstrate about the matter, and the media, she will burn everything to gain more interest because the media enjoys drama. This is a classic case of boredom in the modern world. After all, all, you don't spend your day hunting, or you no longer spend most of your day in a social community such as a church or a synagogue. You go out to demonstrate about nonsense. And America does not lack enemies, just as it does not lack oil. And the reactions around the world are not surprising. China does maintain restraint and condemns the act, but other voices are heard from the Kremlin, messages that accuse the US of meddling with the situation in Ukraine instead of the internal situation. The Russians in recent years have been creating and orchestrating incidents around the world in order to forget the never-ending conflict in Ukraine. And to be honest, it helps them. The public in Europe and the US is not happy about the aid payments to the Ukrainians, and the average citizen doesn't care about future geopolitics. He cares about the existing tax burden. I'm not a gambling person, but when I gamble, I put everything on black, not in a racist way. The shooter was a school shooter, and everyone knows that blacks don't stay in school. All the data here connects to something bigger. For an inside job that is probably influenced by foreign Libyans, many people have an interest in bringing down the USA or splitting it, because at the end of the day, the big families will survive, and the biggest opportunity for profit is war. I don't believe that the USA will fall even in the event of a civil war, but, and there is a big but, a civil war will change the world agenda, and the world economy will be greatly affected by it. And there are probably lobbyists already buying shares of Chinese, Russian, European, or maybe even Ukrainian companies. But one way or another, it's probably something deeper, the answer to which is hidden in the shadows or in one of the Reddit forums.